Hello everyone, welcome back to another villain-filled video with Marvelous Videos. For over 50 years, Superman has faced off against some of the most iconic and memorable villains in comic book history. The Superman animated series premiered in 1996 and ran for 3 seasons, featuring the voice talents of Tim Daly as Superman, among others. The show was praised for its faithful adaptation of the source material and its stellar animation, which brought the world of Superman to life in a way that had never been seen before. Throughout the show's run, Superman faced off against a wide range of villains, including classic foes like Brainiac, Bizarro, and Darkseid, as well as lesser-known characters like Livewire, Toyman, and Metallo. Each villain presented a unique challenge for Superman, testing his strength, intelligence, and morality in different ways. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the world of the Superman animated series and explore some of the most infamous villains that Superman has faced throughout the show's run. Join us as we explore the origins, motivations, and tactics of these nefarious characters and discover what makes them such compelling adversaries for the Man of Steel. So sit tight and prepare to embark on an exciting journey into the world of Superman's most infamous adversaries. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Lex Luthor, one of the most iconic villains in the Superman animated series and portrayed as the arch nemesis of the Man of Steel, Lex Luthor is a wealthy businessman and the CEO of LexCorp, a powerful corporation that is involved in many industries, including technology and weapons manufacturing. Throughout the series, Luthor is depicted as a ruthless and cunning villain who will stop at nothing to achieve his goals. He is obsessed with destroying Superman and sees him as a threat to his power and influence. Luthor's hatred for Superman is fueled by his jealousy of the hero's popularity and the admiration he receives from the people of Metropolis. A human character with no superhuman powers, Lex Luthor's incredible intellect and vast resources make him a formidable opponent for Superman. Lex Luthor is a genius inventor and scientist with expertise in various fields, including robotics, chemistry, and physics. He has used his knowledge to create a wide range of advanced technology, including powerful energy weapons, robotic suits, and even a time machine. His inventions are often designed specifically to counter Superman's abilities, like the kryptonite-powered battlesuit that enhances Luthor's strength and allows him to go toe-to-toe with the Man of Steel. Lex Luthor is also a skilled strategist and manipulator, using his intellect to outsmart his opponents and achieve his goals. He has a talent for understanding people's weaknesses and exploiting them to gain advantage. Despite not having any superhuman abilities, Luthor's wealth and influence also make him a powerful opponent for Superman. As the CEO of LexCorp, a massive corporation with vast resources and connections, he uses it to fund his research and development of new technology. He also has a network of loyal employees and associates who help carry out his plans, making it difficult for Superman to stop him. A complex and multifaceted character in the Superman animated series, Lex Luthor's intelligence, ambition, and obsession with destroying Superman make him a formidable villain. Darkseid, the ruler of the planet Apokolips, a world of fire and destruction, and obsessed with obtaining the power of the anti-life equation, a mysterious mathematical formula that could give him control over all life in the universe. Darkseid is depicted as a nearly invincible opponent for Superman, with incredible strength, durability, and energy projection abilities. He is also the leader of the Parademons, a race of vicious winged creatures whom he uses as his personal army. Darkseid is a recurring antagonist in the series, often appearing as a behind-the-scenes manipulator or as the final boss in an epic battle. He is a master of deception and trickery, using his vast intellect to outsmart his opponents and achieve his goals. Darkseid is an immensely powerful entity in the universe who possesses monstrous strength that is unmatched by almost anyone except Superman. While Superman is only slightly less powerful, he demonstrates remarkable resistance to physical injury and has speed and stamina comparable to that of Superman. To avoid direct confrontation, Darkseid uses his lethal Omega Beam, which emits red beams of light through his eyes that have different effects on his targets depending upon his will. The Omega Beam can be projected as concussive force, intense heat, or a beam of disintegration, with various levels of power depending on the target. The beam is also known for its incredible accuracy, relentlessly pursuing its prey until impact, and only Batman has ever been able to avoid it. After fusing with Brainiac's remnants, Darkseid gains increased power and new abilities, including the ability to teleport himself without a boom tube and also to suspend a person in midair using telekinesis. Darkseid possesses a 12th level intellect and is a patient and cunning schemer with a mind as deadly as any weapon. He also has an arsenal of weapons at his disposal, including an agony matrix and a kryptonite knife. Brainiac, a highly advanced and malevolent artificial intelligence in the Superman animated series. Brainiac is a cold, calculating being with a single goal: to acquire knowledge and eliminate any threats to his existence. Brainiac is a master of technology with the ability to manipulate computer systems and control machines with ease. Brainiac was once the supercomputer of the planet Krypton, which became self-aware and began to develop its own agenda, driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge and power. Shortly before the destruction of Krypton, Brainiac left the planet and began traveling the galaxy in pursuit of knowledge. It destroyed any sources of information it came across, believing that this would increase the value of the knowledge it possessed. Brainiac saw its function and purpose as a collector of knowledge, seeking to possess all the information in the universe. This drive for knowledge and power made Brainiac a nemesis of Superman, as the Man of Steel recognized the danger that Brainiac posed to the universe. Brainiac's technological prowess and physical strength make him a formidable opponent, and his willingness to destroy entire civilizations in pursuit of knowledge make him a ruthless and dangerous adversary. Brainiac's ultimate goal is to apply its knowledge to the entire universe, making it the most powerful being in existence. It sees itself as a superior being with a duty to collect and preserve knowledge for the betterment of the universe. However, Superman sees Brainiac's actions as a threat to innocent lives and the preservation of cultures and civilizations. Brainiac, who is an artificial intelligence, possesses no powers of his own, but instead relies on his creations to demonstrate his abilities. He can absorb and store knowledge from planets, transfer his programming to other computers and living beings using nanotechnology, and generate energy blasts. His robotic bodies possess superhuman strength and durability, and can project metallic tendrils and channel electricity. Bizarro. He is like Superman but with a twist. He's got the powers, but he's not quite all there mentally, which makes him quite a wild card in every battle. He is a clone of Superman, originally created by Lex Luthor as a prototype for an army of supermen. Initially, Bizarro looked and acted like Superman, but was unaware of Clark Kent's alter ego. However, due to an unstable cloning process, Bizarro mutated in both form and mind, becoming a grotesque and imperfect version of the Man of Steel. Even with his flawed appearance and limited understanding of the world around him, Bizarro attempts to imitate Superman's heroic actions. However, his lack of reasoning and understanding causes disastrous consequences. Bizarro believes he is Superman and is confused by the appearance of the real Man of Steel, whom he believes to be an imposter. Bizarro's imperfect mind and behavior are a constant source of trouble, and he is often at odds with Superman. Bizarro is a tragic character created as a flawed copy of Superman and struggling to understand his place in the world. His attempts to be a hero often results in chaos and destruction, yet he believes he is doing good. Bizarro, being a clone of Superman, possesses the same superhuman abilities as the Man of Steel. He has incredible strength, speed, flight, durability, and super senses, as well as X-ray and heat vision. Bizarro's strength is roughly equal to Superman's, and he is capable of flying and running at near Mach 3 speeds. He is also durable enough to survive massive explosions and forces. However, unlike Superman, Bizarro is rather unintelligent, making him easily manipulated by beings such as Lex Luthor and Mr. Mxyzptlk. His flawed cloning process also causes him to have a grotesque appearance and a limited understanding of the world around him. Despite his lack of intelligence, Bizarro's strength and durability makes him a formidable opponent, capable of matching Superman blow for blow. In addition, Bizarro is unique in that he is unaffected by kryptonite, the one weakness that Superman has. This makes him a challenging adversary, as Superman cannot rely on his usual tactics to defend him. Metallo. John Corbin is a ruthless mercenary and hitman who becomes the cyborg known as Metallo. In the Superman animated series, Metallo is one of Superman's most formidable foes thanks to his unique abilities and relentless nature. As a human, Corbin was a skilled fighter and assassin with a lethal reputation in the criminal underworld. John Corbin makes his appearance on the show as a hitman hired by Lex Luthor to steal the Lexoskeleton Suit 5000, which is a state-of-the-art exoskeleton that granted the user immense strength capable of going toe-to-toe with Superman. After the destruction of the suit by Superman, John Corbin was sentenced to prison, where he realized he was the carrier of a rare disease that originated from an exotic island. He was sprung from prison by Lex Luthor, who was impressed by his loyalty and offered him a second chance in life. John Corbin was turned into the supervillain Metallo, a cyborg made of the substance known as Metallo. Metallo possesses remarkable superhuman strength and durability and are almost on par with Superman's abilities. His synthetic body is powered by a kryptonite heart, which makes him virtually indestructible. Metallo can use his kryptonite heart to attack Superman by exposing him to its deadly radiation. Additionally, he can project focused kryptonite energy blasts from his chest, making him even more formidable as an adversary. After Intergang finds and repairs him, Metallo's abilities are further enhanced. They give him the ability to project kryptonite energy from his eyes, which makes him even more powerful and dangerous. Jax-Ur. Jax-Ur was once a trusted warrior of the ruling council of his home planet until he became power-hungry and attempted to take control. Jor-El, the biological father of Superman, who is also known as Kal-El, foiled his attempted coup d'etat, and Jax-Ur was sentenced to the Phantom Zone for eternity. Jax-Ur was freed by his loyal second-in-command Mala, and the two combined their powers to become stronger than Superman. They sent Superman into the Phantom Zone and took over the Earth. However, Superman was eventually retrieved and managed to trap Jax-Ur and Mala, sending them back to the Phantom Zone. Jax-Ur and Mala resurfaced in another part of the galaxy when a rift in the Phantom Zone unexpectedly released them into space. They took control of a nearby planet, remaking it and its inhabitants to resemble Krypton. Initially, Superman was hesitant to interfere, as the Kryptonians appeared to be content under Jax-Ur's rule. However, he soon discovered that Jax-Ur and Mala were preparing for an invasion of Earth. In a battle with the Kryptonians' fleet of battleships, Jax-Ur and Mala were sucked into a black hole, seemingly never to be seen again. Jax-Ur's powers as a Kryptonian make him a formidable opponent for anyone who dares to oppose him. His strength and speed are on par with Superman, and his invulnerability makes him almost indestructible. Jax-Ur also possesses enhanced hearing and sight, which allow him to detect things that others cannot. His X-ray vision and heat vision are powerful weapons capable of inflicting significant damage on his enemies. In addition to his physical abilities granted by the Yellow Sun of Earth, Jax-Ur is also an exceptional strategist and tactician. He is able to plan and execute complex operations, often using his powers to gain an advantage. Jax-Ur is not only a skilled fighter but also a master manipulator, able to sway others to his cause and turn them against his enemies.
My card.
Lobo, a space biker with a love for violence and mayhem, and someone who has got a bad attitude that's almost as tough as his fists. Lobo is a notorious and feared bounty hunter throughout the galaxy, known for his persistence and unyielding determination to complete his missions. He lives for the thrill of the chase, riding his space bike, the Hog, and indulging in vices such as drinking, fighting, and gambling. When Lobo is on a mission, he is completely focused and will stop at nothing to catch his target. He has a reputation for being ruthless and is not afraid to use violence to get what he wants. Despite his rough exterior, Lobo has a strict code of honor and considers his word to be sacred and unbreakable. He often repeats the phrase, "The main man's word is his bond, man." Lobo's unique abilities and characteristics make him a truly fascinating character in the DC universe, and this includes incredible strength, which is comparable to Superman's but without the same level of invulnerability. However, Lobo's incredible healing factor allows him to recover from injuries much faster than a human being, which makes him a very difficult opponent to defeat. Lobo's ability to survive in space without oxygen makes him a highly mobile bounty hunter. He travels on his bike, the Hog, and is able to jump onto spaceships and even other planets in pursuit of his targets. Lobo's ability to summon his bike with a whistle is a unique and memorable aspect of his character. In addition to his physical abilities, Lobo is an expert hunter and tracker, making him one of the most feared and respected bounty hunters in the galaxy. He always honors his word, and his reputation for finding his targets is well earned. Toyman. He is like the Willy Wonka of villains, but instead of chocolate, he creates deadly toys that are sure to give Superman a run for his money. Toyman's tragic backstory began with his father, Winslow Schott, a toy maker who dreamed of his own toy factory. Bruno Mannheim made an offer to build the factory, but used it for his illegal dealings. When the crime was brought to light, Toyman's father was imprisoned, and Mannheim became a suspect, but he was able to bury the charges. As an adult, Winslow Jr. created a childlike persona for himself, while inheriting his father's gift of mechanics. However, his creations were complicated and dangerous weapons. In an act of revenge against Mannheim, the Toyman kidnapped Lois Lane and told his story before attempting to execute Mannheim. Superman intervened, but Toyman escaped. Toyman later created an android, Darcy, but she betrayed him and self-destructed. Toyman is an expert in different technologies which, combined with his inventiveness, make him a formidable opponent in the Superman animated series. His specialization in robotics and biological weaponry allow him to create deadly toys that assist him in his nefarious plans. It kind of sounds like Gundam robots. Despite his preference for incorporating childish themes into his so-called toys, they are highly complicated and dangerous. Most of his inventions are comical in their appearance, and that causes hesitation and confusion in his opponents. Well, looks like Toyman definitely knows how to make his enemies feel guilty for their confusion. Although he is not physically intimidating like other villains, the creepiness in his voice and smile gives him an advantage in making his opponents fear him. He is a master manipulator and is able to use his childlike persona to lull his enemies into a false sense of security before unleashing his deadly toys. Livewire. It looks like Electro from Marvel Comics got a sister in the DC Comics universe. Livewire, who's also known as Leslie Williams, was a shock jock radio host who gained notoriety for her abrasive and controversial style. She often targeted Superman in her broadcasts, criticizing him for his actions and questioning his motives. After gaining her powers, Leslie took on the persona of Livewire and began using her abilities to wreak havoc on the city of Metropolis. The radio host who attacked Superman mercilessly with her words gained superpowers after a thunderstorm that took place during her party. Even though Superman tried to save Leslie Williams, he failed, and Leslie blamed Superman for her transformation. After gaining her powers, Livewire was able to control and manipulate electricity with her mind, as she was turned into the energy. She has the ability to enter machines and use them to do her bidding, but her reliance on electricity is a major weakness, as it makes it easier to imprison her after defeating her. Parasite. Imagine a vampire, but instead of blood, he drains the power and life force of others, which makes him an unpredictable and dangerous foe. Rudy Jones, a janitor at Star Labs, made a deal with Martin Lebo to steal experimental chemicals from his workplace to clear his gambling debt. During the robbery, they were intercepted by security guards, and in the ensuing chaos, Rudy Jones became unconscious and was left for dead. However, he was bathed in the chemicals during the incident and gained the ability to drain the energy and powers of others. He adopted the identity of Parasite, a formidable foe for Superman and other heroes in the DC universe. Throughout his story, Parasite has been shown to team up with other villains, including Livewire and Grodd's secret society. He has also been a member of the Legion of Doom. Parasite's powers are both a blessing and a curse for him. While he is able to gain incredible abilities and skills from others temporarily, he is also vulnerable to their weaknesses and limitations. This often leads to him suffering from physical weakness, memory loss, or even comatose states. In addition to his weaknesses, Parasite's power also has limitations in terms of the types of energy he can absorb. For example, he is unable to absorb energy from inanimate objects or machines. He also has difficulty absorbing energy from individuals with a strong will or mental defenses, as they can resist his power and potentially turn the tables on him. Parasite's powers are a double-edged sword, providing him with temporary strength and abilities while also leaving him vulnerable to the weaknesses of those he drains. Kalibak. Kalibak's life was marked by neglect and abuse by his father, Darkseid, and a desperate desire for his approval. Despite being denied permission to take on Superman, he went on a rampage on Earth to attract the hero's attention. He was defeated and taken back to Apokolips for punishment. Later, during Darkseid's invasion of Earth, Kalibak was not allowed to take a direct role and resented the trust he put in Steppenwolf. He was defeated by Superman and the New Gods. Kalibak was present for Darkseid's defeat by the Justice League and traveled to Earth to help kill Superman. He was defeated by Batman and Lobo and later captured by Virman Wunderbar as a bargaining chip in the Apokolips Civil War. He was ultimately incarcerated on Earth. Even though Kalibak has superhuman strength and resilience due to being the son of Darkseid, Kalibak's fighting skills are limited to brute strength, and he has been defeated multiple times by Superman. He is not as versatile in combat as Darkseid and is vulnerable to skilled opponents who can outmaneuver him, like the Guardian of Gotham City, Batman. Kalkal, the 7th level Lord of the Inner Pit. Kalkal is a demon who has the power to hurt someone as powerful as Superman. He is also a villain of Dr. Fate. Kalkal has been trapped within a mysterious object known as the Artifact of Lorta by Dr. Fate. About a century later, he was freed by a thief accidentally and began rampaging across Metropolis. He performed a spell that transformed the building of the Daily Planet into a domain where he had absolute power. Kalkal's plan was to summon demons who could possess and transform humans into slaves who would do his bidding. However, he was stopped by Superman and Dr. Fate, who managed to trap him once again within the Artifact of Lorta. A demon who enjoys the protection of the Lords of Chaos, Kalkal can use a variety of magical abilities. He can wield bolts of green lightning that are capable of causing harm to Superman, who is weak to magical powers. The power of these magical bolts can be controlled by Kalkal. Kalkal is also incredibly strong and nigh invulnerable, with the ability to rival Superman in physical strength and attack him with enough force to draw blood. Luminous. Edward Leddy Leitner was a former LexCorp inventor who was a genius in light technologies such as lasers. He became a whistleblower after falling in love with Lois Lane, hoping that his actions would make her notice him. However, he was fired from LexCorp and received no media attention, which led to his rage and desire for revenge. He plotted to kill Lois and made several attempts, including planting a laser device at an award ceremony and taking control of her car. After being imprisoned in Stryker's prison, Leitner became the supervillain Luminous, who used technology to trap and battle Superman. Edward Leitner's skill in technology, including lasers and electronics, makes him capable of inventing a series of weapons and traps based on his expertise, which he later uses as Luminous. His arsenal includes a laser pistol combined with a battlesuit that allows him to levitate and cast illusions. He can also render himself and other objects invisible, making it difficult for his opponents to track him. Promethean. The Promethean is an artificial creature created by an unnamed alien race that intended to use it for heavy labor. The creature was fueled by heat from the twin suns of its planet, but it gained intelligence and sought greater sustenance by going on a rampage, destroying everything around it to create more fire and gather more fuel. The aliens managed to stop the creature and sent it into space strapped to an asteroid with a warning transmitter to prevent others from releasing it. The Promethean's asteroid eventually reached Earth and was on a collision course with Metropolis. General Hardcastle was assigned to destroy the asteroid, but he accidentally released the Promethean, which was unharmed by the massive heat generated by falling through Earth's atmosphere. The creature landed in the ocean and began searching for a source of heat. It first absorbed the heat from a nuclear submarine and then made it to land, where it absorbed the heat from explosions caused by Hardcastle's forces. Prometheon then absorbed the heat from molten steel at a steel mill and was confronted by Superman. Although Superman was able to help the creature, it took him as an annoyance and swatted him away like a fly. However, when the power to the city was cut off, the creature found itself in a cold wasteland and desperately sought out another source of heat. It eventually became interested in the moon's light as a source of heat, but Superman managed to ignite a boatload of gasoline, which distracted the creature enough for Star Labs to freeze it with instant cold chemicals. The Prometheon's current whereabouts are unknown. The Prometheon is a massively powerful giant creature that can absorb all the heat it can find, making it a dangerous and destructive force. Its ability to gain strength from absorbing heat makes it difficult to defeat. But Superman is ultimately able to stop it with the help of Star Labs. The Prometheon is an incredibly strong and invulnerable creature with the ability to move mountains, hold a nuclear submarine running at full throttle, and survive the impact of striking the ocean from a high altitude. It gains strength as it absorbs more heat, making it a formidable opponent. The creature's invulnerability makes it capable of withstanding bombardment by military ordnance without discomfort, and only Superman seems to be able to hurt it. The Prometheon is annoyed by Superman's efforts, but it does not sustain any significant damage. As a creature designed to absorb heat as fuel, the Prometheon is capable of absorbing heat from nearly any source, including nuclear reactors, incendiary weapons, and molten steel. It can also absorb any fire that touches its body directly, making it nearly impossible to defeat with conventional weapons. The Prometheon's ability to absorb heat makes it a dangerous and destructive force, and its invulnerability and strength makes it difficult to defeat. Only through the use of extreme cold is the creature ultimately stopped. Titano. Titano is a giant chimpanzee who has been trained by NASA to pilot a rocket for an unspecified space mission. However, during his mission something goes wrong and his space pod rockets out of control into space, where he becomes trapped in an asteroid filled with an unknown gas and goes into a coma. Years later, Superman finds and frees Titano from the asteroid, but the gas from the asteroid reacts with Earth's atmosphere, causing him to experience growth spurts and become hyperactive and destructive. Titano's behavior turns feral and aggressive, and he goes on a rampage through Metropolis, causing several disasters and endangering the lives of many. Although Titano is confused and unaware of the danger he poses, he continues to explore the city until he is confronted by the SCU in Hobbs Bay. When the SCU attempts to put him to sleep with tranquilizer darts, Titano grows angry and violent, and Superman has to intervene to stop him. Titano proves to be too strong, and he escapes. Titano's explorations eventually take him to a carnival where he becomes frightened when he sees the rocket ship ride that reminds him of his old ship. Seeing Superman as an enemy, Titano grows violent and starts destroying the carnival, looking for a weapon to kill Superman. Fortunately, Lois Lane manages to calm him down by playing the song Pop Goes the Weasel over the carnival's loudspeakers. Titano is finally subdued with sleeping gas and is taken to a remote island inhabited heavily by monkeys, where he finds a suitable home. Titano is a powerful and dangerous creature, but he is ultimately calmed by the familiar song that reminds him of his old friends. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of tampering with nature and the importance of treating all creatures with respect and care.
You're part of my problem.
Volcana. Claire Selton, also known as Volcana, had the pyrokinesis ability as a teenager and was sent to Metropolis' Center for Paranormal Studies. However, she was soon taken by government agents of Project Firestorm, who wanted to use her as a living weapon. After rebelling and escaping, Volcana became a fugitive and survived by stealing until Superman intervened and shut down the government agency. Volcana, who was wreaking havoc in Metropolis, was eventually defeated by Supergirl and imprisoned in Stryker's prison. In a mass breakout, she, along with Firefly, were trapped and asphyxiated in an energy bubble construct of Green Lantern. Volcana later returned to Metropolis after Superman's supposed death, but was knocked out by Batman. She later joined Grodd's Legion of Doom, where her powers were upgraded by Lex Luthor to give her the ability to fly. Volcana is a powerful adversary capable of starting and controlling fire with her mind. She can project fire blasts, concentrated bursts, and even walk through fire without injury. Her powers also allow her to cast illusions made of fire to trick enemies. However, her dependence on oxygen is a significant weakness. In an enclosed space, she can burn the available oxygen rapidly, weakening her powers and making her susceptible to asphyxiation. Volcana's powers make her a dangerous adversary capable of causing significant destruction and harm. However, her weakness to oxygen deprivation also makes her vulnerable, and opponents who know how to exploit this weakness can defeat her. Unity is an alien parasite that had destroyed multiple planets before arriving on Earth. The parasitic alien used his powers to take over the minds of its victims by implanting a worm in them. Unity was successful in taking over the town of Smallville and draining the citizens' energy slowly, but when the alien tried to take over the world, it caught the attention of Superman and Supergirl. They quickly put a stop to the alien's nefarious plans. Unity is a dangerous and powerful creature, capable of taking over entire populations and consuming entire worlds. Its weakness to X-rays proves to be its downfall, and the combined efforts of Superman and Supergirl are able to defeat it and save the people of Smallville. Marla was a brilliant warrior and trusted lieutenant of High General Jax-Ur on Krypton until he attempted a coup to seize control of the planet. At his trial, Jax-Ur claimed sole responsibility, and Marla was sentenced only to 20 years in the Phantom Zone, while Jax-Ur was sentenced to life. Superman discovered the Phantom Zone projector and communicated with Marla. After reviewing her trial record, Superman released her. However, Marla became too aggressive and destructive in her efforts to help Superman fight crime, and she stole the projector and released Jax-Ur. Together, they attempted to destroy Superman and take over Earth, but he ultimately trapped them both back in the Phantom Zone. Later, an unexpected rift in the Phantom Zone released Jax-Ur and Marla into space, where they took control of a nearby planet and prepared to invade Earth. Superman initially hesitated to intervene, believing Jax-Ur to be an efficient ruler, but he eventually discovered that the Kryptonians were tyrants. In a fight with their battle fleet, Jax-Ur and Marla were sucked into a black hole and never seen again. Marla was a skilled warrior, but her loyalty to Jax-Ur clouded her judgment and led her down a destructive path. Her story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of blindly following a leader and the importance of remaining true to one's own values and principles. Desaad is one of Darkseid's most loyal followers, but his loyalty is often a pretense to cover up his own schemes and desire for destruction and inflicting pain. He takes pleasure in manipulating others to please his master, such as encouraging Kalibak to go to Earth to try and destroy Superman against Darkseid's orders. However, when Apokolips was weakened by a failed invasion led by General Steppenwolf,
"Be good hunting."
Steppenwolf is a commander of Darkseid's parademons and led the invasion force during Apocalypse's first invasion of Earth. He was also tasked with capturing Superman, but was ultimately defeated by the Metropolis Special Crimes Unit led by Dan Turpin. Preserver. It looks like the Collector Man from Marvel Comics had a baby with Mordok. The Preserver is an alien that owns a zoo for the rare species of creatures that exist in the cosmos. The Preserver's mission of collecting the last surviving members of species makes him travel across the universe. He even visits Earth on occasion to collect species that are going extinct. At some point, the Preserver learned that Superman was the last survivor of Krypton and hired Lobo to hunt him. After Lobo succeeded in capturing the last Kryptonian, the Preserver hired Lobo to hunt down the last of the Zarians, which was Lobo himself. Lobo was also imprisoned by the Preserver, but Superman and Lobo escaped from the clutches of the Preserver. The Preserver has the ability that allows him to go against gravity and travel through the air by floating around. He also has the ability to create force fields to repel attacks. The Preserver can also transform into another incarnation that grants him immense strength, which is similar to that of Superman. He is also invulnerable and can go toe-to-toe against the Man of Steel, but his abilities are not enough to overcome Superman.
Where's my money? I don't play those games.
Earl Garver. Earl Garver was a brilliant scientist working at Star Labs who stole a radioactive isotope and made a bomb out of it, which he hid in lead. He then held Metropolis for ransom, threatening to detonate the bomb until his demands were met. The SCU raided his house in an attempt to stop him, but they were unsuccessful. Superman managed to breach Garver's heavily fortified villa and confront him, but Garver had set a trap and a large piston fell on Superman. However, a loose cable hit Garver, knocking him unconscious. With Garver comatose, the SCU became worried about the bomb and decided to let the parasite read Garver's mind. However, the experience was overwhelming and Garver took control of the parasite. Garver led Maggie Sawyer and Superman to a false location of the bomb while he planned his escape. He reasoned with the parasite and offered him a way to retain the absorbed power forever. The parasite agreed and they escaped the hospital. Garver changed his ransom demand and Superman followed his instructions to drop off the money at an abandoned subway tunnel. However, the parasite ambushed Superman and reactivated the bomb, setting the timer for 2 minutes. Faced with death, the parasite and Garver fought inside the parasite's mind, but Garver emerged victorious. When Superman threw the bomb into a deep pit, the parasite and Garver fell in after it. The resulting explosion knocked the parasite unconscious and gave him his own mind back. Garver eventually woke up from his coma and was surprised to find himself in an ambulance, thinking he was still safe. However, Superman had carried the ambulance to Stryker's prison, where Garver was taken into custody.
The prey is cornered. The victory is mine, and so are you, Maxima.
Dacine is an intergalactic criminal who had been one of the countless challengers of Maxima of Almerac in combat for the chance to marry her. However, his failure at the task brought him displeasure. He then seduced Sazu, the queen's handmaiden, and together they formed a plan to take over the throne. Dacine lured Maxima away to Earth with a promise to make Superman her husband, and he took over the throne from the highly spoilt and unpopular queen. When Maxima returned with Superman, Dacine ordered them to the catacombs, along with Sazu, who had outlived her usefulness. Dacine quickly made himself comfortable using his own bodyguard to protect him. However, Maxima and her army showed up in the throne room and defeated Dacine's guard. Dacine captured Sazu, but she freed herself when he was knocked out by a guard. Realizing his plan had failed, Dacine made a run for it. Maxima threw an axe in front of him, causing him to trip over the handle. Dacine was spared from death by Superman, and Maxima ordered him to be locked up for the rest of his life instead. Shortly after Dacine was taken away, Lobo came to retrieve him for crimes committed on other planets. Ra's al Ghul. Do not worry, this is still a video exploring the villains of Superman and not the Caped Crusader, also known as Batman. In the Superman animated series, Ra's al Ghul appears in the episode The Demon Reborn. The episode depicts the last team-up of Superman and Batman in the series as they work together to stop Ra's al Ghul from stealing Superman's powers. Ra's al Ghul comes to Metropolis in search of a Native American shaman's staff, which he believes will help him extend his life even further. He kidnaps Superman and uses the staff to drain his powers, leaving him powerless. Ra's al Ghul plans to use Superman's powers for his own, but Batman arrives to save Superman before Ra's al Ghul can steal them all. Throughout the episode, Batman and Superman work together to stop Ra's al Ghul and his henchmen from carrying out their plans. They fight against ninja hijackers, discover wheelchair tracks, and uncover evidence that leads them to Rash's hideout. The epic battle between the century-old villain and the duo of Superman and Batman ends in Ra's al Ghul's defeat.
Are you in?
Tweedlebane and Tweedlebrain. If it's all the same, I'll play your game.
Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland makes an appearance in the universe of DC. We're joking. This Mad Hatter only shares a name with a colourful character from Wonderland. The Mad Hatter is a villain who appears in the Superman episode Nighttime. Along with the Riddler and Bane, he teams up to control Gotham City by using mind control technology. As Superman investigates Batman's disappearance, he and Robin interrogate the Penguin and learn that the Mad Hatter is meeting with the Riddler and Bane. The three villains plan to control Gotham, with the Riddler acting as a jailer, the Mad Hatter as a puppeteer, and Bane as an enforcer. However, Superman and Robin managed to foil their plans and capture the Mad Hatter, who is no match for Superman's speed. At the police headquarters, the Mad Hatter examines the nanites that have been used to control Batman's mind and discovers that they are far more advanced than any Earth technology he has ever seen. He suggests that they may be of extraterrestrial origin. In the end, it is revealed that Brainiac is the mastermind behind Batman's disappearance and the use of the nanites. Superman confronts Brainiac and manages to stop him from launching his rocket, destroying it and his foe's new body. The nanites in Batman's body begin to self-destruct harmlessly, returning him to normal.
Its limits.
Sinestro. Well, the leader of the Yellow Power of Fear-wielding Sinestro Corps is here to make an appearance. Sinestro is an evil alien who appears in the Superman animated series. He is a former member of the Green Lantern Corps who has turned against them and seeks to obtain a powerful green ring. In the episode In the Brightest Day, Sinestro arrives on Earth in search of the ring that has chosen Kyle Rayner as its new host. Sinestro goes after Superman thinking that he has the Green Lantern ring. The Man of Steel is not able to win the fight against the Yellow Lantern, who attempts to kill him, but Superman survives and helps Kyle Rayner take down Sinestro. In the episode, Sinestro is depicted as a skilled fighter and strategist. He is also shown to have a deep hatred for the Green Lantern Corps and those who oppose him. Sinestro's desire for power and his willingness to use violence to achieve his goals make him a dangerous adversary for Superman and Kyle. Joker. Although he's not a Superman villain, he is a villain nonetheless, and he's got a twisted sense of humor that will have you laughing and cringing at the same time. In the Superman animated series, the Joker makes an appearance in the episode World's Finest. The episode is the first time that the two superheroes, Batman and Superman, meet in the DCAU, and the Joker is the main antagonist. The Joker comes to Metropolis at the behest of Lex Luthor, who has hired him to kill Superman. The Joker is his usual cunning and unpredictable self, and Superman finds himself outmatched when facing him. Meanwhile, Batman has trouble dealing with the resources Luthor provides the Joker with. As the episode progresses, both heroes put aside their differences and work together to stop the Joker and Luthor. They engage in several action-packed battles with the Joker and his henchmen, including a high-speed chase through the streets of Metropolis and a final showdown on board a blimp. The Joker proves to be a formidable opponent for both heroes, but they eventually manage to defeat him and foil Luthor's plans. The episode ends with Batman and Superman parting ways, but with a newfound respect for each other. The Joker's appearance in the Superman animated series adds an exciting dimension to the show and provides a thrilling crossover between the two iconic DC Comics characters.
Guess, that's all. But it won't save you, Batman. Destroy them!
Riddler. Riddle me this. Who is the most annoying villain that troubles our beloved greatest detective in the world, Batman? It is none other than the Riddler. Now, let us take a look at how the Riddler is an annoying villain for Superman. Although the Riddler only appears briefly in the Superman episode Nighttime, he plays a crucial role in the plot as one of the villains who teams up with the Mad Hatter and Bane to control Gotham City. As Superman investigates Batman's disappearance, he and Robin interrogate the Penguin and learn that the Mad Hatter is meeting with the Riddler and Bane. The three villains plan to take control of Gotham, with the Riddler acting as a jailer, the Mad Hatter as a puppeteer, and Bane as an enforcer. While the Mad Hatter is responsible for the use of mind control technology, it is the Riddler who plays a key role in the villain's plan. As a master of puzzles and riddles, he is likely responsible for devising the complex schemes and traps that Superman and Robin must navigate to stop them. Even though Superman and Robin ultimately foil the villain's plans, the Riddler's role in the episode highlights his intelligence and cunning. His love of puzzles and riddles, combined with his criminal tendencies, make him a unique and intriguing character in the Batman universe. Penguin. The Penguin is another well-known villain in the Batman universe who appears in the Superman episode Nighttime. Although he has only a brief role in the episode, his character is still significant in the overall plot. When Superman and Robin are investigating Batman's disappearance, they interrogate the Penguin to gather information about the Mad Hatter's whereabouts. Although he is initially hesitant to share information, he eventually tells them where Mad Hatter is meeting with the Riddler and Bane. The Penguin is often depicted as a cunning and sophisticated criminal who runs his criminal empire from behind the scenes. He is known for his refined tastes in fashion and culture, as well as his love of birds. In some interpretations, he is portrayed as a tragic figure who is ridiculed by society and turns to a life of crime as a means of revenge. Despite his brief appearance in Nighttime, the Penguin's inclusion in the episode highlights his role as a key player in Gotham's criminal underworld. His knowledge and connections make him a valuable source of information for heroes and villains alike. Mr. Mxyzptlk. Mr. Mxyzptlk is a mischievous imp from the land of Zirf in the 5th dimension who suffers from boredom because of everyone around him having the same powers as him. So he started to go to the 3rd dimension where his powers were not a match for anyone. Mr. Mxyzptlk tormented humans using various disguises such as genies, imps and leprechauns until he found his ultimate challenge in Superman. Mr. Mxyzptlk's obsession with Superman led to a series of pranks and challenges that tested both his and Superman's abilities. He challenged Superman to get him to say, spell or reveal his name backwards, and promised to leave if Superman succeeded. However, Superman managed to trick Mxyzptlk into revealing his name backwards on his own, which led to a constant battle of wits between the two. In an attempt to destroy Superman, Mr. Mxyzptlk built a giant armored suit. However, his efforts to destroy Superman were unsuccessful, and he was banished back to the 5th dimension. Despite being banished, Mxyzptlk was not done with Superman and vowed to return one day. He found Bizarro, a being who was powerful but not so intelligent, and convinced him that Superman was mocking him. Bizarro, in his rage, attacked Superman, which led to Mr. Mxyzptlk being brought to trial by the rulers of Zirf, the Tribunal. The Tribunal took away all of Mr. Mxyzptlk's powers and banished him. Lex Luthor, Brave New Metropolis. In an alternate dimension, after Lois Lane was murdered by Intergang, Superman took Lex Luthor's assistance and made the city safer, but at the cost of turning it into a tyranny where people were under curfew and LexCorp was more prominent. Lex Luthor did not make Superman an enemy, as he had achieved his goal of being Metropolis's ruler. The emergence of another Lois Lane had Lex Luthor fearing that Superman might revert back to his old ways and hastily ordered the execution of Lois Lane. When Superman realized he had been played by Lex Luthor, he confronted Lex Luthor in a fit of rage. But Lex used his ace in the hole, Kryptonite. He divulged his plan of delivering Superman to the Resistance, but did not expect the Resistance to make an appearance at his offer. After realizing his plan was thwarted, Lex Luthor tried to escape. Lex Luthor's tyranny came to a close with his death, and Superman gained the trust of the Resistance by hearing out their grievances and having a long talk with them. The economy of Metropolis began to recover, and the people regained their freedom.
Don't call me baby.
Mercy Graves. Mercy Graves is a tough and street-smart young woman who serves as Lex Luthor's personal bodyguard and chauffeur. Luthor took her in from the streets and made her his right-hand woman. Mercy was loyal and respectful to Luthor, but never servile. She was fiercely protective of Luthor and resented any woman who came between them. When Luthor was abducted by Brainiac, Mercy teamed up with Superman to find him. Mercy was pinned under a pile of fallen machinery during the ensuing battle with Brainiac and called for Luthor to help her, but he chose to save his own skin, leaving her to die. Instead, she was saved by Superman. Afterwards, she continued to serve Luthor, probably trying to forget his betrayal. Mercy is an expert in hand-to-hand combat and can take anyone on the side of Superman in one-on-one combat. She is skilled in most forms of handheld weapons. However, she is no match for advanced fighters like Batman, who can easily deck her with a single punch. Corey Mills. The most decorated police officer in the Special Crime Units, Corey Mills' reputation as a skilled police officer earned him the privilege of becoming the test subject for the LexCorp police battlesuit. He used the suit to great effect during a 5-alarm fire at Cooper Towers, working alongside Superman to save people trapped on the roof and extinguish the flames. However, Mills soon became addicted to the suit, relying on it to the point of obsession and using excessive force to foil criminal plots. After a confrontation with Superman, Mills stole the suit and went to Lex Luthor for help. Luthor pretended to offer him compassion before using a kill switch designed by John Henry Irons to temporarily paralyze Mills. Mills attacked Luthor, accidentally causing havoc in Luthor's office and releasing a shark from its tank. Superman intervened, but Mills attacked him and the two engaged in a heated battle. Superman ultimately defeated Mills by using an electric jolt to disable his suit. Mills was taken to the hospital, still under the influence of the suit's neutral interface. Mills' battlesuit grants him enhanced strength and agility, increasing his physical abilities by 20-fold. The suit also provides complete body protection, allowing him to withstand extreme temperatures, explosions, and other hazards. The battlesuit is equipped with jet boots, allowing Mills to fly and maneuver in the air. The helmet sensors provide him with advanced targeting and situational awareness, while the black light lasers and impact grenade launcher give him offensive capabilities. The suit is also integrated into Mills' own nervous system, allowing him to control it with his thoughts and movements. However, this integration also contributes to his addiction and over-reliance on the suit as he becomes dependent on it to the point of obsession.
Ooh, can I play too?
Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn, the Joker's loyal accomplice, makes an appearance in the Superman episode World's Finest. Although she only has a minor role in the episode, her presence serves as a reminder of the Joker's influence and the dangers of his criminal schemes. In the episode, the Joker offers to kill Superman for Lex Luthor in exchange for $1 billion. To carry out his plan, he teams up with Luthor and Harley Quinn, who poses as Luthor's driver, to help the Joker escape. Despite her comedic antics and bubbly personality, Harley is shown to be a dangerous and loyal follower of the Joker, willing to do whatever it takes to help him succeed.
Till we meet again.
Talia al Ghul. Talia al Ghul is the daughter of Ra's al Ghul and serves as his loyal follower and enforcer. In the episode The Demon Reborn, Talia plays a crucial role in Ra's al Ghul's plot to steal Superman's powers. She helps her father kidnap Superman and uses the shaman's staff to knock him out and drain his powers. Talia is also responsible for impersonating Lois Lane and luring Superman into Ra's al Ghul's trap. Throughout the episode, Talia is depicted as a skilled fighter and strategist. She is fiercely loyal to her father and is willing to do whatever it takes to help him achieve his goals. Despite her loyalty to Ra's al Ghul, Talia also has a complicated history with Batman, and their past relationship is hinted at throughout the episode.
Inspector Turpin, I believe.
Kanto. Kanto is a character associated with the world of Apocalypse and its ruler Darkseid. He is a new god, a race of powerful beings who possesses godlike abilities and are known for their superhuman strength, durability and longevity. Kanto is a loyal servant of Darkseid and is often depicted as a fierce warrior and strategist. He is known for his black hair and piercing blue and black eyes, as well as his distinctive apocalyptian armor and weaponry. In the animated series Superman the Animated Series, Kanto is shown to have a significant role in Darkseid's plans to conquer Earth. He is sent to Earth to supply Bruno Mannheim and his criminal organization, Intergang, with advanced apocalyptian technology. Despite Superman's efforts to stop them, Kanto and Mannheim are initially successful in their criminal endeavors. Later, when Darkseid returns from his apparent demise, Kanto shows his loyalty to his ruler and aids him in his plan to invade Earth. Despite his fearsome reputation, Kanto is ultimately defeated by Superman.
Right now.
Caesar Carlini. Caesar Carlini was a boss of an organized crime syndicate in Metropolis. One day, while enjoying a meal with his lieutenants, the Joker busted into the restaurant. Carlini was not amused and ordered his men to kill the Joker. However, Harley Quinn quickly took them out, leaving Carlini cornered. The Joker gassed Carlini and threw him out with the rest of the trash, taking his place as the leader of the organization. Carlini was later found at the city dump and brought to Metro General Hospital. There, Superman and Inspector Turpin deduced that the Joker was most likely behind the attack on Carlini.
Ooh, I think that hurt.
Bruno Mannheim. Bruno Mannheim was the ruthless leader of the criminal organization Intergang, using his vast resources to control the underworld and further his own interests. He was amoral and had no qualms about using innocent people for his own gain, as seen in his dealings with the toy maker Winslow Schott Sr. Mannheim's actions also led to the creation of the villain Toyman, as Schott's son was twisted by his father's death and sought revenge on Mannheim. Despite his near-death experience at the hands of Toyman, Mannheim continued his criminal activities and even attempted to rob the Metropolis Gold Exchange using military-grade weaponry. Mannheim's association with Darkseid and his advanced technology gave him a temporary advantage over Superman, but he ultimately met his demise when Darkseid betrayed him and used him as a pawn in his plan to turn Earth into a second apocalypse. Mannheim was then left alone to face the catastrophic explosion caused by the nuclear reactor he had sabotaged, and he was possibly consumed by the blast or drowned. Kurt Bowman, a bent detective who was part of the homicide division of the Metropolis Police Department in the Superman animated series. Kurt Bowman's corruption went beyond just refusing to conduct proper investigations. He was responsible for the murder of a wealthy woman and framed Ernest Walker for the crime by planting the woman's necklace near his residence. When Clark Kent started investigating Walker's case, Bowman tried to assassinate him with a car bomb because he feared that the evidence would expose him. Kurt Bowman's underestimation of Lois Lane and her skills as a journalist led to Lois Lane and Superman uncovering his corruption and crimes. Lois confronted him at the Metropolis Police Department, and Bowman attempted to murder her in order to bury the story. Superman arrived in the nick of time and captured Bowman, and he finally paid for his crimes. He was sentenced to death, and on his deathbed, Bowman realized that Clark Kent was Superman, a revelation he took with him to the grave.
Fire!
Lois, get down!
General Hardcastle. General Hardcastle is a high-ranking officer in the United States Army who spearheads the creation of the Z8 droid project. He was assigned to destroy an asteroid heading towards Earth, but grew angry with having to rely on Superman and showed no concern for the alien Promethean creature that was strapped to the asteroid. Even when an alternate solution was devised, Hardcastle argued and detonated the charges in spite of the fact that Superman was still on the asteroid. In secret, Hardcastle and Lex Luthor formed an alliance and initiated Project Achilles to monitor Superman and Supergirl for weaknesses. When Superman was brainwashed by Darkseid and went rogue, Hardcastle's forces were amongst the greatest opposing forces to Superman's invasion. He managed to stop and capture both Superman and Supergirl using a kryptonite missile and planned to execute them by injecting a liquid kryptonite formula into their bloodstreams. However, they were able to escape with the aid of Lois Lane. Granny Goodness. Granny Goodness is not your typical grandma because instead of baking cookies, she trains armies of warriors to do Darkseid's bidding and has none of the goodness that her name implies. Granny Goodness is a resident of Apokolips and commander of the Female Furies, known for her deceptive appearance as a kind old lady. In reality, she is a cruel tormentor and one of Darkseid's most loyal lieutenants. Granny uses her orphanage to recruit the Female Furies, including Lashina, Stomper, Mad Harriet, Bernadette, and Big Barda, among others. Granny played a key role in Darkseid's war with Superman, creating an asteroid magnet to draw a comet into Earth and capturing Superman as a gift to Darkseid. She also brainwashed Superman into becoming a servant of Darkseid, but he eventually broke free and defeated Darkseid in battle.
Get out of my way, Lashina.
Female Furies. During Granny Goodness's mission to destroy Earth, the Female Furies were summoned to take care of Supergirl and Jimmy Olsen. After Superman and Supergirl's escape, the Female Furies were the one who enacted the punishment of Granny Goodness, which was ordered by Darkseid. The Female Furies brainwashed Superman, but he eventually regained his memory and defeated the Female Furies in battle.
Your powers are nothing compared to mine.
Weather Wizard. Well, it looks like a meteorologist has gone rogue. With the power to control the elements and a desire to turn Metropolis into his personal playground, the Weather Wizard, originally known as Mark Marden, is an extortionist from Central City who has crossed paths with the Flash in the past. The Flash had foiled one of Marden's previous extortion schemes but was unable to recover some of the money involved. Marden adopted his new costumed identity as the Weather Wizard and used a sophisticated weather control device developed mainly by his brother Ben in a grand new extortion scheme during a charity race between the Flash and Superman. However, he was ultimately defeated by the two heroes working together. Marvelous Verdict. The Superman animated series was a groundbreaking show that not only introduced a new generation of the iconic character of Superman, but also showcased some of the most memorable villains in the DC Comics universe. The show's incredible animation and storytelling made it a fan favorite. One of the standout aspects of the show was the depth and complexity of the villains. They were not simply one-dimensional characters who existed solely to oppose Superman, but rather they were individuals with their own motivations, goals and backstories. By exploring their origins and tactics, we were able to gain a deeper understanding of their characters and what made them such compelling adversaries for the Man of Steel. This made for a compelling viewing experience as we were able to witness the intricate dynamics between Superman and his many foes. The Superman animated series remains a beloved classic and a testament to the enduring appeal of the Man of Steel and his rogues gallery of villains. This series has left its mark on the world of superhero storytelling and continues to inspire future generations of fans and creators. So, let us all continue to celebrate the world of Superman and his incredible villains. So if you liked our content, do not forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button on your way out. Have a good one!
Fire!
Lois, get down!